This is a look out of the back of my property. That big mound of dirt you see there is the Richardson, it's the backfill in for the septic system that I've got. It needs to rain a couple more times in about 6 months, or 6 weeks, I'm sorry. I can go in and take that dirt and fill in around the septic system. There's the Starlink. The Starlink's been working really well out here. I get anywhere from 180 to 50 megabits per second, which even at 50 I've been able to watch videos and do everything I need to do. So I have had zero problems with it, and it's worked quite well. So as you can see, I'm standing on my back porch looking out, and there's a very, very small fenced-in area back here that obviously I need to get some yard equipment, and I'm looking for a zero-turn mower to take out the bigger portion of this all the way back to the very back behind the pond there. Needs to be mowed on a regular basis. So it's a good probably 2.5–3 acres of stuff that I have to actually mow. And then, but I need to get the equipment first, and so I've only spent one night down here, and I actually need to go back up to the house in Richardson and get a couple of things, but I may not be able to make it today. I thought I was going to, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I'm still hopeful this will pass over in a little bit and I'll be able to do it. That's my closest neighbor, and they're just on the other side of my property, and then my property goes way back over to back to where those trees are. There's about a quarter of an acre of trees that are very dense in that back area back there beyond the green behind the pond. And this we jokingly call the island because it has a it's surrounded by water. There goes a little cat. That is not one of mine. That's one of the neighbors. But it was hiding under the fence. Now it's headed off to go to its home and hide. It lives next door. But anyway, apparently it was hiding out under the thing, waiting for the rain to pass, and that keeps a lot of the stuff out. Here you can see the septic system. The septic system's working. It's just that around the outside of that concrete, the water has just pushed the clay down, and that's why I've got that big thing of dirt there. And then this is off to the side of my property, to the other side where the other neighbor is. And you can barely see it. There's an old car back there. He's got quite a few old cars that go all the way back on his property. And but you know, he's hardly ever here. I've never really heard him. Oddly enough, this is the way there's a huge satellite dish and a DirecTV satellite dish up there, neither of which I need. And oddly, the Starlink points the other direction. But one of those satellites up there is HughesNet, and you know, I'm hoping maybe one day I can take those things down and use them for something else. Maybe make some antennas out of them. But anyway, and back over there you can see one of the Connex boxes. Both of the Connex boxes are full now. One of them has my radios in it, and the other one has basically my shack from Richardson is in there, the desks and tables and things like that. And then some of the computer equipment that needs to come inside is in there. packed up in boxes. I'll have to go through those slowly and get them out. And then those 3 barrels there are my rain barrels, which I will eventually deploy here and collect some rainwater. I use it for watering plants and doing things like that, although it's been funny since being down here that it has rained so terribly much. And if you see, like back over there, there is a couple of down branches. The other night I had forgotten an Amazon package that we were going to take to Richardson, so it was raining and we had gone over to Chili's, and we held out at Chili's until around 8:30 or so, and then I was going to come back real quick, grab the package and head on back up to Richardson. And when I started coming back, I kept finding down tree after down tree across the county roads out here. So the weather was, or literally the weather was so bad. We had some really, really high screens, not screens, but some really high winds that were here, and they pretty much took down trees, uprooted them. My neighbor about three houses over, which is probably a mile from here, he had a tree uproot from the ground, the whole root ball and everything, and it just toppled over, and it was as tall as some of these pine trees out here. But from an amateur radio's perspective, you can see, I mean, I've got some really good height on some of these trees, so I'm hoping to begin putting up an 80-meter infit half wave, which I've had it a long time, but it went around the house in Richardson. Here it's going to go way up in one of those trees. The other thing is, eventually I've got all the makings to do a sky loop. I've got plenty of wire, and I just need to get the loop up into the trees, and it'll have to go starting in the front yard all the way back into maybe down to where the back of the pond is, and then across, and then come back up, and then I'll drop some ladder line and bring it in. What I'm going to do as well is I've got a gazebo that, like the one that Jason was using at More Expo, or those, basically the Gazelle tent ones, the 6-man. And I'm going to put it out here as a temporary shack, and just use the temporarily have that there for a temporary shack, and use it for a portable shack until I can get what I'm thinking of doing is one of two things. Is I'm either going to use a Connex box and drill holes in it and put electric in it and the whole 9 yards, or I'm going to get one of those sheds like Jason's using today, and just run power out to it, and I'll locate either here or maybe on that little island thing there. It's kind of the whole thing. I don't get the island thing, but there is a road right there, right here, that goes across to that, what I call an island. It's not really an island. It's just that the back part of it, my neighbor is in my neighbor's yard, so I can't get to that. So the only way to get to here in my property is over this little land bridge right here. And then you've got all of that area there. So I could put it up there. The other thing I may put out there is the hex beam, just to get it in a place where there's not trees, or where I can at least manage the trees to a point that I can keep it spinning. Yes, I could eventually put a tower or whatever out here, but that's long term. Right now, I want to start getting some temporary radios up and start being able to communicate. I did talk to some hams last night on the deal, or on the one of the repeaters that I found that was active. I'd already had it programmed into the 400, but I was just kind of searching around and I heard them on, and what they tell me is there's nets that go about 3 times a week on that repeater, and while I'm quite a ways away from it, I can get a 2-meter antenna up, even 20 feet or so, and they tell me I should be able to hit that repeater no problem. So, and I was doing okay from the car. It's just there's a couple of hills and stuff that I was dipping down into that I really won't have a problem with here. Anyway, that's all I've got today for this video, just to start things out and let y'all see kind of what's going on here. I'm not going to go to the front because it's just pouring out there. So anyway, this is Don N5 SKT 73.